With Doom being a massive success, a sequel was inevitable. Within less than a year, Doom 2 Hell on Earth was released. You may be wondering, how the heck did they release it in such a short amount of time? Well, they went the Spear of Destiny route by using the same exact engine. Sure, there are some new additions, including 32 new levels, but you can look at this game as an expansion pack of sorts. And we were fine with it. We were starving for more Doom. We couldn't wait to continue our conquest against the forces of hell. Doom 2 sold well over 1 million copies between its release and 1999, only adding to its already massive popularity. To this day, people debate over whether or not it's superior to the original. Some people enjoy the new challenges it brings, while others feel the maps rely on gimmicks and lose those brief moments of terror from the original. Where do I stand on Doom 2? Well, I might have spoiled which one I prefer in my intro video. But let's take a look anyway and see where Doom 2 stacks up in the series as a whole. In the game, you once again play as Doom Guy. If the title didn't spoil it for you, I can't help you, man. Yes, demons have invaded Earth, and you must send them straight back to get chastised by Lucifer for their incompetence. As you expect from a sequel that uses the same assets, the visuals are identical. Impressive for their time, but somewhat blurry and blocky nowadays. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Newcomers might find them off-putting, but this is what gives old-school Doom its identity. I love it! Bobby Prince returns to perform the soundtrack. The guy's a legend when it comes to creating catchy tunes for these old DOS games. I will admit, the tunes aren't nearly as memorable as the original. Wait! Before you get your pitchforks out, let me explain. The tunes are fine, but some of them feel out of place for Doom. It's almost hard to describe why. When I think of Doom, I think of heavy metal mixed with a mad descent into the realm of evil. Some of the tracks here, though, sound strange. Again, not bad, but it doesn't fit the whole aesthetic of Doom. But for the most part, the music is great. It puts you in the mood to fight off the hordes of hell. Hats off to Bobby Prince. He always does fine work. Like the previous games, the premise is incredibly simple. Make your way through maps, shoot demons, collect key cards, and find the exit. If you were expecting anything new in terms of the overall gameplay, you will be disappointed. But for those of you that enjoy the simplistic early 90s style of run and gun gameplay, double click your WAD files, you're gonna be in for a good time. Probably the biggest and my favorite addition of Doom 2 is the Super Shotgun. Twice the barrels, twice the death. This thing can eradicate demons when used in a proper situation. There's just something satisfying about releasing both barrels upon a group of baddies. The sound effects, the reload animation, it just feels fun to use. Would I have liked more guns? Sure, but the Super Shotgun alone whets my appetite for blood. I'm not crazy, I swear. Hannibal Lecter says I'm not for enjoying blood, and he's a doctor for your information. Then we get to the new enemies. Oh boy, do these guys ramp up the difficulty. To be honest, most of them aren't that fun to fight. Yes, I know, please keep the pitchforks at bay for just a little while longer. I don't know what it is about them, their attack patterns are just annoying. First you've got the chain gunners. They are relentless and will not stop firing unless you're out of sight. Now, the Revenants have a cool design, an angry skeleton that wants to blow your head off with rockets. And they're known to be a little musically inclined these days. The thing that bothers me though is their homing rockets. The thing that bothers me though is their homing rockets. At times it's hard to tell whether or not they are firing regular rounds or homing rounds. And then... oh god, Not them. Anyone but them. For those of you who don't know, I hate the Lost Souls. They're flying, flaming skulls of pure aggravation that ram into you non-stop. That alone is bad. But then we have these giant turd nuggets here. They're called pain elementals. They fire lost souls out of their mouth, and if you kill them, they leave behind more lost souls. These guys take priority over anything else. You're screwed if you don't take care of them right away. Who thought this was a good idea? Let's take the most annoying enemies and have an even bigger, more annoying enemy that was manufactured in the fecal matter factory spew them out at a consistent rate. Isn't that fun, kiddies? Well, the name's at least fitting, because they bring me nothing but pain! Okay, I'm good. Anyway, we have the Archvile, which people often consider the most hated Doom enemy. You don't know true suffering then! No, they're irritating, but at least tolerable. They can revive enemies, plus deal significant damage if you're in their line of sight, but I think modders have abused them to no end, which is why they get a bad rap. At least here their appearances are infrequent, and they can be a good challenge in certain areas. The only new additions I enjoy is the Mancubus and Hell Knight. They felt like a fair, genuine challenge. Sure, one's a reskin, but it does a good job of keeping you on your toes. And it can be fun to fight in a huge crowd. So the new enemies aren't great in terms of fighting, but their unique designs, sans the Hell Knight, make them memorable demons. While the original Doom games are remembered for their fast-paced action, they also had incredible level designs. It's what brings each game together, opening doors, traveling down interesting hallways, finding secrets, and having memorable encounters with demons. Doom 2 pushes id Tech 1's engine to its limit in terms of size and scale with the maps. Some maps are impressive in terms of scope. They want to give you this feeling of grandeur, that you're exploring this huge open world that's been overrun by hell. Everything feels big and epic. Unfortunately, the huge size of many levels hurts the game overall. Now, this doesn't apply to all levels. I want to say there's a fair amount that have a good balance, but a lot of times you'll be traveling back and forth between large corridors with little variation in level design. Some levels feel like, hey, let's just throw in a bunch of monsters in there without regard for placement. This can lead to infuriating moments, especially if hit scan enemies are involved, and you just keep mowing waves and waves down. Don't get me wrong, I love blasting demons all day long, but the unique corridor placement in the first game felt planned out. It made you feel tense. You had to understand your surroundings and use them in an effective way to stay alive. In Doom 2, it's like, here's the demons, shoot them till they die. I think they took the advice of that one meme to heart. And yes, I know that meme came later. Why do I have to explain how jokes work to you, internet? Anyway, despite a good number of levels being underwhelming, there's a decent amount I enjoy. They harken back to the balanced level design of the first game, and they're fun to explore. You even get access to levels based on Wolfenstein 3D. A nice nod to the legend that paved the way for Doom's success. So, I feel split about this game. There are good ideas, but the levels fall flat. I want to enjoy them because I love Doom's gameplay to death, but the more I play them, the more I find them tedious. However, the good portion of entertaining levels keep me going. They use the id Tech 1 engine to its full potential, and are a genuine treat to play through. It's just not as high tier as some of the other Doom games, in my opinion. At the end of the day, I still recommend it to fans of the series like myself. It is required to play many of the modern Doom mods, as they use its assets. For people who've never played a classic Doom game before, I recommend playing the original first before jumping to this one, just to understand the mechanics better. But that wasn't the end of Doom 2, far from it. In 1995, we got an expansion pack called the Master Levels, which were designed by people who have ties to the Doom community. In all honesty, I think the Master Levels are better than the actual Doom 2. I know, go figure. I think there's just a lot more attention to detail in these maps. They were hard and challenging in the right ways. Like the original Doom, it did a good job of mixing well-constructed environments with monster encounters. If I was to have one gripe, it'd be that some of the maps can get a bit convoluted, but with patience you can find the exit. It's a lot of fun. I was surprised by how good they are. Nowadays they come pre-packed with Doom 2, although each level has to be loaded by itself. Unless you use a source port and other tools to combine them with. Gotta love Doom source ports. Doom 2's longevity came to an end in 1996 with the release of Final Doom. When you hear a title like Final Doom, you'd expect it to be the last game in a trilogy. It's not. They needed the title for fans until Quake's release the following month. So id made a deal with then modding group Team TNT to make a commercial release of their megawad known as Evolution. It forms the first half of Final Doom, containing 32 new levels. The second half, known as the Plutonia Experiment, was created by the Casella brothers, specifically made for Final Doom. Aside from new music for Evolution, it's just more Doom 2 map packs. Given how everyone was hyped for Quake, and how big of a success the technically superior Duke Nukem 3D was, Final Doom felt like a quick cash grab. Even looking back on it now, some people find it hit or miss. They either enjoy the new levels, finding them fun and energetic, while others think they're dull and tedious. I like half of Final Doom, and that half is definitely not the Plutonia Experiment. Ironic, given that it's considered the better map pack. Really? That's interesting, because I think the maps are horrible. They follow the same design philosophy as Doom 2, where they just throw monsters into a large open area without proper attention to the level. And these demons appear at the worst of moments. Remember the chain gunners? Well, get used to hearing an endless stream of Daka here. There's no thought or care put into these levels. I tried my hardest to enjoy them, but I ended up feeling frustrated as opposed to accomplished. Meanwhile, Evolution, while not great, was enjoyable. I felt the map design of some levels felt a bit too convoluted. You didn't need so many winding corridors to travel down, but I felt a sense of balance when traversing the levels. Enemy placement felt right, and you had some interesting areas for fights. Maybe some people love Plutonia more for its relentless difficulty. If you enjoy it for that, more power to you. What it calls difficult didn't feel right to me. Either way, I recommend this only if you're a die-hard Doom fan. Others may want to skip it. So, I might have been a little hard on Doom 2. There's an old saying that lightning can't strike twice, and this game is one of those examples. Doom 2 has good ideas to shake up the formula, but some of them fall flat, and it doesn't feel as iconic as its predecessor. Regardless, it's still a Doom game at its core, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's still awesome.